Come on in, welcome to my home. Today we are going to talk about a really cool thing. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I love plants, like absolutely love plants. And, well, I do a lot of reviews on Amazon for Amazon Vine, and one of the things I got to review, actually two of the things I got to review, were terrariums. And I'm like, well, I've never done a terrarium before. That should be really cool. And of course, to truly review a terrarium, one needs terrarium plants. So, what the heck? I decided I would jump in with both feet and get some terrarium plants. And because my birthday was coming up, by the time you see this, my birthday will have passed. I also wanted to get a Venus Flytrap. I've always wanted a Venus Flytrap. So I thought this would be a great time to get both things, and we are going to talk about them. And we are going to talk about them in such a way that you're going to get to learn with me as I do them. I am not coming to you as an authority on these things because I thought, one of the things that I love is watching the people learn as they go. And that's what we're going to do, because one of the things you're going to find out is it was a process. First, let's talk about the terrariums. And what's really funny about this is I combined the two terrariums together to get the one terrarium that I wanted. Let's talk about the first one. The first terrarium is a mini glass plant terrarium with light. I'm going to tell you right off the bat that the glass that they give you for that mini plant terrarium, it's thin. It's like thin drinking glass thin. And I was like, oh no, that's never going to work for what I want. So I did like the light. I did like the everything else about it, but I was like, I don't really like the glass base. Then I found another terrarium. This is the glass terrarium with lid. This terrarium is super, super cool because it has a lid where once it gets moisture in it, the moisture will collect on the lid and drip back into the terrarium rather than staying on the lid, which I was like, yep, score, we have a winner. This is great. So combine the two together, I knew that this was what I wanted. And I knew that this was what I wanted in my super dark master bathroom. I mean, there are no windows. It is just dark. So the light that comes with the terrarium is bright enough to actually keep the plants alive. And that was good. And I put it on a timer. Well, actually, I put it on a wise plug so that way I could then set the timer to come on. It's on for 16 hours a day. It lights up my bathroom. Instead of having a nightlight in my bathroom, I'm using my terrarium. It's wonderful. I've been enjoying that, so let's get into it. Putting the terrarium together meant that I needed to get terrarium plants, and so I ordered a terrarium kit. This terrarium kit came with most everything that you need except for the pebbles, which go down into the bottom of the terrarium, and it comes with the dirt, Spanish moss, sheep moss, reindeer moss, and then we come with our first problem. You get charcoal and 3 random plants. You have no idea what those plants are, and they do not tell you what those plants are. I have made an educated guess that one's a begonia, and the other is a Dracaena. I'll put it on the screen. What the other two are, those are my guesses what they are, but I do not know for certain. And the begonia, I think, is a Rex begonia, but don't know for certain. But we're just going to go with this. We're not going to let that bog us down. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details. And one of the nitty-gritty details I'm going to tell you is when you do your terrarium, they tell you that you want to have a base of rocks at the bottom, which is true because it makes it look really nice and pretty, and you want those to be small pebbles. But what they don't tell you, and what I found out later on, is that you should probably scoop the center out of that base of rocks and then put your charcoal in there, so that way any water that sits on the bottom of the terrarium will then be filtered with the charcoal. Make sense so far? I hope so. Then the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to add your soil. Now, like I said, my terrarium came as a kit, came as a terrarium already together, so I didn't have to put it together or anything. but it's small. Like, it's really small. In fact, all three of those plants will not fit, as you can see. The taller ones, I decided I'd have to do something else with them. So instead, I went with the two shorter plants. No problem. I put the soil in there, put the plants in, and added some Spanish moss. It comes with some bark. It comes with sheep moss and the reindeer moss. And I just tried to put those in a decorative way using my fingers because at the time I had no terrarium tools. That's the thing I would say you'd want to get. Get some terrarium tools or like long pincers or something. Just anything that you can use to help you position the plants. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. It's a really small space. You want to be able to put the plants in there. And I'm telling you right now, this is my first terrarium. You will see more terrariums on here. But it was not that easy to do. And so, like I said, this is a learning process. This will show back up later on. But I got the plants in there. Then I started reading about the watering requirements, and they do suggest that you don't use tap water for your Venus flytrap and also for your terrarium. So what should you use? Reverse osmosis water or rainwater. Oddly enough, I was testing out a reverse osmosis water filter that I don't know. It's big. I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. Once I was done testing it, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it, period. But then once I found out that the plants like the reverse osmosis water, I'm like, okay, do you need reverse osmosis water? No, I do believe you can also use distilled water. Yeah, but we'll get into that. So I used that to water the plants in. Everything was fine. Put it into the bathroom, lit it up. It looks great. So what did I do with the other two plants? Easy. I had another large bowl. I put rocks in the bottom, put the soil. There is no charcoal in this. So I put the two plants in, the extra moss, the Spanish moss, the sheep moss, reindeer moss, because I knew instantly that I'd never be able to fit all of that stuff in. And that is a work in progress. Let me tell you, that is totally a work in progress. Like I said, you will see these again as they go. And we were ready. So the one terrarium went into the office with the other plants, and of course there's a terrarium in the bathroom. So then what's next? Well, there's the Venus Flytrap. I got this Venus Flytrap, and it comes with everything. Everything that you could possibly need with it. It comes in there. It is sort of bare root. The roots are wrapped in a paper towel. Then they give you the planting medium, which is like a moss. What you are supposed to do is I should have done this with all of these things. Wet your planting surface first, your planting substance first. With the terrarium, I should have made the soil moist before I put it in there. With the Venus flytrap, I should have made the planting medium moist before I put that in there, but I didn't. So I learned, and you'll see that I repot this thing a couple times, simply because they're like, mix perlite in with your planting medium. It came with that plastic basket, so I just finally decided I'll put the planting medium in the basket, just like it says. Do everything just like the instructions say. And then I watered it with the reverse osmosis water, and we're ready. We are ready to go. They say that you're not supposed to feed them for the first 3 days. They need to be in a sunny, bright location, which I have, of course. I have grow lights. Now, the one thing that does say is that if you're growing them under grow lights, you're supposed to be 5 to 7 inches on the Venus flytrap from the grow light. I've got a sunny window, so that's not really a problem. So now what do we do? Well, now we wait. It was a ton of fun trying to do this. It's going to be a ton of fun watching these grow, and I have another thing that I can use as a terrarium, which I'm excited to do, but I have like some ideas. I know what I need to do. I know that what my mistakes were. Like I said, Pebbles. Get pebbles. I would go with just regular pebbles that you can get for an aquarium. Those work just fine. I know that you just need the ring around of the pebbles around this outside and then put the charcoal on the inside. The planting medium, it's not regular planting soil because it needs to drain much faster. These things like moisture. I do have a sprayer that I can spray them because when I got my air plants, I got a nice little sprayer that I can spritz all of my plants with, and it works really well. I am going to get more of the tools, the terrarium tools, so that I can keep up with my terrarium. But this is a learning experience, and I thought, hey, you guys might as well come along. As I learn things, I will let you know. If you follow me on my other social medias, which I'm kind of active on, you will see these things grow and prosper, and you will also see more videos on the terrariums as I do them. But this was a ton of fun. And I did order mealworms for my Venus Flytrap. And yeah, they're going to come in on Wednesday, so that means the first time I get to feed them will be on Thursday. Now, if you're wondering about all of this, will you get to see this? Probably. But if you are part of my Patreon or part of the channel members, you'll get to see it in a weekly vlog. Every week I vlog about the things which are going on in my life, and it's a behind-the-scenes look at, like, this whole thing. And I talk more about the mistakes that I made doing this, because, yeah, as I'm doing this and I'm trying to figure out, and that's the other thing I should add. The day that I got these packages, it was 28 degrees. So I knew that I needed to get them out of they did come with a heat pack. I knew that I needed to get them out of the package into the soil as soon as I possibly could. So yeah, that's why I sort of rushed through without doing enough research on them, because they needed to go into soil. And yeah. Now, if you want to become part of that Patreon family, just click that link. And I'd like to thank these wonderful people who let me experiment on things like plants. This is going to be so much fun to watch these plants grow, see the Venus Flytrap, see me do more terrariums. Don't forget, we have our plants coming up. Planting is going to be coming up pretty soon. I do have seeds to start, all that fun stuff. You'll get to go along with me on that. And like I said, this is learning. I'm not coming at this as an expert. If you want expert advice, I'm going to learn. I'll give you more advice as I go along. But I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've ever started a terrarium, and I hope I get to see you again the next time you stop by.